Hello everyone, my name is Andrew AJT and welcome back to Rare Pictures of 2006 RuneScape, and we'll also be showing plenty of stuff from 2007 and some videos as well. So this is part 3. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, check out the full playlist I made in the description. And this might be the final part 3, but honestly there's so much to talk about from this era that it's hard to say that this is the final video and we're just never going to talk about it again. So maybe I'll make a part 4 someday. I don't have plans for it currently, but a lot of people have sent me pictures and videos of their own experiences from back then, so really this could go on forever, and some people were actually saying that I should make this like a never-ending series. But for now, I'll show you what I have left of most pictures and then maybe a few other things from what people sent me. Here you saw some bot busting, some good old-fashioned Green Dragon PKing at the time. So the 07 folder shows a lot of interesting miscellaneous things on top of the normal gameplay pictures, and one of them is this GIF of the bots at the time. There were so many in free-to-play. I remember competing with them and it was not very enjoyable. But honestly, bots have always been a problem. It's always been a thing of a tug of war between Jagex and bots, of the bots getting banned and then finding new ways to bot and then getting banned again. They've really always been around. And just like today, the individual players who botted on their main accounts typically got banned or even hacked within a pretty short amount of time. So let's go through the last of the normal gameplay pictures in the 2007 folder. So this is extremely good gear at the time. This is before God Wars, so there's no Dragon Boots and there's no Dragon Defender or Imbued Berserker Ring. This is almost the best gear you could possibly have, and you can see here the new helm is the Nezi helm. That's actually the title of this picture, and this helmet has always been a fan favorite since it came out. We got the granite plate body at the time, which you saw based on the last video that people really liked the granite armor, but the torso was also very popular. Tower of Life. I always thought this quest was so unique, it feels like it's something from a different game. Here's a picture of all those unidentified herbs again, except he actually labeled them here at the time, and funny enough, when they released OSRS, they actually changed Unids into Grimy before they even published the game, and then they changed them back because people complained, but eventually they changed them back again to Grimy because people realized that Unids were actually kind of annoying to deal with. It's probably for the better, but there's definitely some charm to Unids. This would have been really rare to see the full set of Barbarian Assault armor. Just because they are relevant, I do want to show these patch notes actually that were released with OSRS on the very first day, and you can see that they disabled a lot of things like construction because they knew those had glitches, for example like the Falador Massacre, and they'd rather fix them than have them released with those glitches. Here's the Unids being changed, and they were changed back and changed back again. So this is one that I wanted to talk about. So the logout timer has been changed from 90 seconds to 5 minutes. If you watch most of my OSRS videos, when I'm standing around, like in an intro or something, you can notice that I'm constantly like clicking just to walk like 2 squares for no reason. And that is because the logout timer used to be 90 seconds like 15 years ago. And that would constantly cause me to just like keep clicking everywhere. Because if you looked away from your screen for like a minute, you would be logged out, and I never really changed my habit because of that. Here's him using Darox at the Warriors Guild for 92 strength, halfway there, 97 HP, and here is the 99 hit points party. So 99 parties still happen a little bit today, but not very often. But back then, because it was such a monumental occasion, they were actually very common. People would spend like an entire day at a 99 HP party at a player-owned house or a drop party or something like that. Here's him fighting that random event again, which did come out with OSRS but was removed after in favor of the safe ones. Got some player-owned house, Monkfish. Not really a ton of people at Monkfish because it was a pretty difficult quest to do Swan Song at the time. 91 defense. Ogres were actually a very popular training method. I remember actually training on ogres quite a bit. You could safe spot them, they had a lot of HP, not really any drops, but today we know they're not really the best training method. This I'm glad I noticed, level 2 clues and not worth it, I'll try one more. So people used to actually refer to easy, medium, and hard clues as level 1, 2, and 3. Obviously at the time there was nothing above that, and I actually used to call them level 1, 2, and 3 clues, but recently it just seems like no one even knows what I'm talking about when I say that now, so I kind of had to stop, but That's an old way of talking in the game. Verak's helm would have been a very nice clue at the time. Another 99 defense, very, very nice. He's 123 combat on May 31st, 2007, which really makes him one of the elite players. And I'm amazed by how many people are actually recognizing names in these pictures, and not even just the famous players, but people seeing their friends at the time, or I think a few people even found themselves in these pictures, so I think that's one of the benefits of putting these pictures on YouTube, is just someone's bound to recognize something. Abyssal Whip. I just love the old school graphics, and that's part of why OSRS is really great, because we still can enjoy those old school graphics even in 2019 and 20. There's the Dragon Axe and Mud Battle Staff, which are very expensive at the time. Even the Circle, I think, was a little bit better than it is today. That's a really amazing trip, and you would never do a solo DK's trip really at the time because it was just too dangerous. If you died, your stuff is all gone. I mean, some people did solo DKs, but that would have been considered like solo Theater of Blood. So only the elite players would actually attempt that. And not to mention, you're using a magic shortbow and a normal whip and DDS and maybe Fire Blast or something. So doing that whole rotation by yourself was pretty impractical for what it's worth. If you're soloing all three, Shield Love Teft, that would have been worth something as well. So most of the rest of these are just whip drops, and not only were Abyssal Demons a great source of GP at the time, and it was certainly helped by drops like this to really supplant that, but they were also a really great source of training. As you can tell, people would typically get 85 Slayer, and then they would go to Abyssal Demons and really max out. There was no Nightmare Zone back then, so you pretty much just trained by doing Slayer or camping monsters. Woot, 67 range for the win. That's another term that we really haven't got into, for the win or Raffle. That's a nice looking gear setup. Again, people would pick gear setups based on how they looked, not even necessarily how effective they were. Abyssal Head, that is really rare. Some Darrocking Abyssal Demons probably would have been a decent idea. Mo also sent me some things that are a real treat to look at here. These are forum posts from back in the day, and the forums were huge at the time. That's where people would discuss the game or make suggestions or discuss updates and things. There wasn't Discord, and YouTube and Reddit were kind of newer. A lot of people posted on the forums, and here's the nice old school looking forums. Remember, the game wasn't based on polls and community suggestions, so Jagex mostly did whatever they wanted, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. They could make very obvious updates without having to pull it, but other things like free trade going away was not as good. So this is a funny one. Spell to Skoo ill enemies in Wild. I think there should be a spell to Skull players in Will D. Comment on this, please. Of course, like, everything is misspelled, and he didn't even post it on the right forums. You're supposed to post this on the suggestions forum. He posted it on future updates, and people are mad at him. So this one we saw already, but we didn't see the bottom part, and I thought this was so funny. New update is worst one ever. So that was like a big thing at the time. Worst update ever, that's almost like a meme. I think Jagex even sold like t-shirts about that or something. And this is, you know, part of where it's from. People would kind of just argue about updates here, and there was bad updates occasionally. So many posts by Andrew and Paul Gower, Mod Ash as well, Mod Peter. Here's a really bizarre post which still baffles me weeks later. Here is Zezyma supposedly selling an account, which is against the game rules, Zezyma. But wait, it's not actually Zezyma. Please note, Zezyma account is not really for sale. I just wanted your attention. But please note, I do sell all P-hats and a few Santas. I was around when they were like 200k. PM me on Jackal578. Please note again, Jackal578 is not my account, so you'll PM wrong person. I'm in Fally if you want to buy a P-hat or a Santa. Also, Dragon and Barrows for sale. Please note, however, I'm not in Fally. I'm in Camelot selling 70k laws. Note, I'm not actually in Cami selling laws. I'm nowhere to be found. But in Zezyma's account, because I am Zezyma, and this was another joke by someone. This is my account. Goodbye and good luck. That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Here is a quest release in 2006. This is actually one of the troll quests, and you needed 7 super composts to complete the quest, so you can imagine there is a ton of people buying super compost on the forums. This is pretty much your best bet because most people back then would have no idea how to get super compost, but you did need it for the quest. Here's actually a picture of his alt account and even RuneHQ, which combined with Tippet and Sal's Realm were very popular fan sites at the time for guides and forums and a lot of good advice for the game in general. I need a mod, please. I need a mod's help. What's the problem? Any player should be able to help you out. What a nice guy. What do you need help with, man? Yeah, even me, what is it, macro or scammer or maybe a noob slash froob slash nubby that won't leave you alone, question mark? Well, I've been wanting to be a mod since level 3 when I saw the crow, I guess he means crown, near his name, and now I've been repotting a lot of people for macro-y, account selling, stealing with 2 E's, and just about everything else, and I'm not one yet. My friend is a mod, and he only repotted like 2 people, and then became one. What am I doing wrong? Probably you're reporting people without solid proof, my bro. Became a mod in 2 months of playing, and I have been playing for 2 years. You're probably abusing system reports and reporting too much, and yeah. So people really wanted to be a player mod at the time. Nowadays it really isn't that big of a deal, but when you saw a player mod at the time, it was a pretty cool thing. Although I still want to be a player mod from back in the day, so if Jagex ever sees this, please make me one, but that's probably not going to happen. Arg, 12 days going. Arg, I'm getting so frustrated with Jagex. 12 days now, there have been a level 3 macro in every single Mage Arena Bank world. Every single one, 24/7. Jagex response, report them. Report for what? 12 days, loads of reports, loads of complaints. Jagex constant response, report them. Grr, it's been 12 days. At this rate, they're gonna be all month there. Jagex, get off here and remove them. Don't just say report, we do. Same, I have seen them all level 3 froobs. Hug emote, please? This is from Rendier. I wonder if that's Rendy back in the day from modern OSRS. It probably isn't, almost certainly is not. But hola, my name is Rendier. Me and my friends would like to have a hug emote in the game. Smiley face, that would be really cool. I've asked a few in-game mods for it, but they said they were only reporting people. So I guess he thought that player mods were suggesting content. But okay, please read this request. Many thanks, Rendier. And this guy actually did post it in the correct place, suggestions. I think that would be so cool with a K, so I could hug my GF. Hee hee, hug emotes rock, hugging rocks. Lol, this would be an really cool update, Jagex, please. Here's something that everybody probably wondered about at least one time. 3 mil XP a minute. Talk about XP rates. Can someone find a loophole in this idea of mine? I just thought of it and it sounds way too good to be true. I have found a way to theoretically get 120k XP in one magic hit. Basically, he's saying that if you just got everyone on a world, so you go in the same square and you ice barrage them, theoretically you would hit all of them at once and you would get like 1 billion magic XP. The problem is you can only hit a maximum amount of players at once. I think it's like 9 or something, so it doesn't really work. So people were obsessed with the dragon items at the time, and anytime there was even a rumor of a new dragon item coming out, people got so excited. What about a dragon bow or dragon staff? They should all have dragon everything. Mostly I want dragon bow. So Mo also sent me this picture of what I think was the knowledge base at the time on the RuneScape website, which used to have a lot more detail about different things. Now we just pretty much rely on the RuneScape wiki. So one thing that's interesting down here is it says pickaxes, bronze, iron, steel, black, which didn't exist, white, mithril, adamant, rune, and dragon, but there was no dragon pickaxe in 2007 RuneScape. That didn't come out for years later. So either that was a mistake or it was a little bit of a hint. It was probably a mistake, but it definitely got people excited at the time, thinking that a dragon pickaxe was on the way. So here's another reply from Mod Esh that's pretty funny. OMG, no blood rune crafting, question mark. OMG, we've been waiting so long for blood rune crafting, and what do they bring? Help with chaos rune crafting? How does that help, for God's sake? Like not even 1% of the players craft chaoses. Another useless one. I hope you guys are enjoying my acting of these forum posts. The point I'm trying to prove is that Jagex is not bringing high-level or low-level updates, they're just doing useless updates, and Mod Ash says like not even 1% of players craft chaoses, which suggests that maybe it needed an update. Nice one, Ash. So even back then, Mod Ash was giving these witty responses to people and actually taking the time to reply to people, which is pretty cool. A new scam. The general store keeps trying to scam me. How do I report them? Raffle reported an NPC. Lol, the general store is a ripoff. You report yourself and stop spamming. Can you stop spamming, please? A mod will ban you from the forums if you continue. Here is a picture called Glitch, and this picture is probably named that because you can see here on the Swift Switch client, the game screen is separated from the main window, and apparently this client was more popular than I realized because a lot of people were commenting saying they used it. And you can see this little IRC client down here, which was probably really nice because there was no clan chats not until like late 2007, so the only way to communicate with people was either public chat or the forums or little PMs there, but having the IRC client down here must have been really, really nice for your clan. So the last thing to show is just these German world pictures, which were a new thing at the time. You can see there's some differences, like a T here, and all these things are different things at the top. Not too much to really show with these, other than there is a J mod in one of them. As you see here, seeing a J mod was very rare at the time. I remember seeing one in Varrock West, and I was just amazed to see that golden crown. And you also see the glitch there, the box guy. And that's pretty much where Mo's pictures end. At that point, he pretty much started playing other games, although he did come back for Deadman mode and OSRS, and is still active today. Here are some PKing pictures from, I believe, 2006, and you can tell that PKing was extremely popular, way bigger than it is today. PKers were on every world, they were in many locations, not really some centralized world and place like they are today. One place I remember PKing a lot at was north of the Varrock Bar. A lot of people like myself would just use the altar in East Varrock and then just head right north to the wilderness. It was really a lot of fun. So we're going to end this video with some fan submissions, and I got sent a whole lot of these, so thank you to everyone who sent me them. I haven't even had time to look through all them, so I'm just going to show you guys some highlights, and then maybe if I do another video in the future, maybe we can go through some more of them. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. But I wanted to take this time to give some concluding thoughts, and one thing that I think was so cool about making these videos and sharing them and talking about them is that it made me find memories in my brain that I didn't even remember existed, if that makes any sense. So for example, I was talking with Mo about how easily people would get muted and even permanently muted back then, and it actually made me remember one time in probably 2007 when I was in the Castle Wars lobby. There was a player who was permanently muted, and the only way we could communicate with him is by having him do emotes. So he could do the yes emote or the no emote and other emotes, and that was how we could actually kind of talk with him while we were waiting for the game to start. Now that's not a very significant memory, it's just an example, but I would have never ever have thought of that memory if it wasn't for that conversation. I didn't even remember having that memory until recently, so it's just so cool how that's possible through pictures and images and conversations like these. And I've been trying to pinpoint why exactly the memories are so strong from 06 and 07 and why they're so important to us, because the gameplay in OSRS today is very similar, so it can't just be the gameplay. But what Mo pointed out is the community interaction and the feeling of adventure and wonder, and also just the cooperation with other players, and more of an MMO mentality was a bigger thing at the time. So I think those things are really important, and we can probably get back to that more in OSRS, especially because we have a lot more say in the game than we did back then. We have the polls, we have Reddit, we have social media. If you want my personal opinion on it, I think we should stop focusing on newer solo content and try to reinvigorate some of the older content, especially the mini games like the Fight Pits or Castle Wars or Trouble Brewing. If you gave those new rewards or new high scores systems or something like that, I think those mini games and other content like that could be totally reinvigorated. Sometimes improving what you have is much better than adding something new. So yeah, that's really all I have to say for now. Thank you all so much for sticking with me throughout this series. Definitely longer videos than I'm used to doing, but it was really enjoyable to make these, and reading the comments has been a lot of fun. If I ever do make a part 4, you can definitely find it in the playlist down below of the whole series. Thank you to everyone who sent pictures and videos of their own, even if I didn't get to yours. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much again to Mo, aka Gatepid, who sent all the original pictures for these videos. Literally could not have done it without him, and he also provided so much context and ideas and experiences with the pictures, which really enhanced the video. Definitely leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, and let me know if you want to see more. Maybe I could even make a pre-EOC one. Kind of had that idea in the back of my mind now. I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing that. I think that would be kind of fun to make. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever I upload. You can follow me on Twitter at AndrewAJT, and I'll follow you back if you play RS. You can join my Discord down below. You can join our clan chat in game, AndrewAJT62. Thank you so much to our Patreon sponsor, Dr. Dread. If you want to support the channel even further, you can check out my Patreon page in the end screen, and I'm always open to new ideas for Patreon benefits. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Happy New Year.